Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman, and I want to come on and do a video wishing everybody happy holidays. Got my tree up there. I don't know if you can see that, but had a great time with family. And for those of you who don't celebrate, hopefully you had a good day off. But I wanted to come on, and I think I'm going to turn this into a series. Got a lot of series going on. But it's going to be I Went to Church series. This will be the second video of that. So I went to church with some of my family, a church that we used to go to in the past before I left, Evangelical fundamentalism. And for those of you who are watching and don't know, I'm an agnostic, so I'm an outsider. And we went back to this one church, and it was some acquaintances of some of my family members that they knew. This guy was preaching there. He's Reformed. He's been in prison and all sorts of things. Now he's a minister, and they were going to go down there. So I went with them. And one of the things that I think a lot of people don't do is fact check the minister. Because I don't mean this in a facetious way, but there's a lot of fish stories out there that you hear in a sermon. So my grandfather was very religious, very pious. He used to say to me, look, if you're going to go to church, you take your Bible, and anything that's not in that Bible, you don't have to listen to. Anything about politics, you don't have to listen to. So I would sit there when I was a kid sometimes and see if the preacher messed up. But it never occurred to me that it's a lot easier today to fact check sermons and claims made because a lot of times, obviously, the message is slanted towards a certain perspective on how they would like to illustrate something, or how they would like you to reach an end conclusion on something. So it's very fascinating. So this was supposed to be a Christmas sermon, and the sermon was about the 4 ways Jesus can and will come on the scene. So he talked about the past 3, Jesus' birth, Jesus' ride into Jerusalem, and then the crucifixion, and the last, his end of the world apocalyptic coming, and then that veered off into apocalyptic scenarios. And the minister was still stuck in a lot of the ideas, which I found surprising, from 20, 30 years ago maybe, of 88 Reasons Why Christ Will Return in 1988, and the Cold War apocalyptic scenarios, where Russia is very much involved, China is very much involved still, and late great planet Earth idea. So I find apocalypticism interesting and fascinating. I love studying it, but I think it's very pessimistic, and it leads to a very pessimistic worldview, to where people, for the most part, only care maybe about themselves or their little group, and not necessarily about their neighbors and outsiders. And how long do churches need to sink before they realize scaring people into the fold does not work? So most of the times, I guess what I'm saying is that when outsiders view this, they're fact checking. If you look up conspiracy theories on the idea of, say, the red heifer, there's no end to it, friends. If you look up conspiracy theories concerning the Ark of the Covenant, there's no end to it, friends. Temple rebuilding, they roll in it. So, almost every group out there, trib, pre-tribulation, tribulation, post-tribulation, um, ideas, rapture ideas, when all that's going to happen. Actually, a more up-to-date version of those in those theories, or the Left Behind series, that flew off the shelves in stores. They're like bestsellers. People couldn't get enough of it. Both Christians and non-believers. So this apocalypticism is very ingrained in our culture. They even had a series of Left Behind books for kids. If you don't read them, at least get them, put them on your shelf, because at least you'll have it as a reference text if you want to go back and see what evangelicalism thinks about end of the world and biblical worldview and apocalyptic ideas, because it very much shapes how they react to not only the people around them, but in the society in general, and it affects their optimism of the future. So a lot of their ideas on how they see the world is based on that, as we said. So I don't know. Also, too, I'm reading a book called Unchristian, which lists a lot of the issues that outsiders see with the church. I'm not going to spend the video complaining. As I said before, a lot of church groups are very positive for social and emotional support of people. They include them in groups and rituals, make people who are lonely and need that sort of thing feel very much part of the society, and being born again is like an induction of that. And in the book that I was reading Unchristian, they did a survey on how born again believers live their lives and outsiders live their lives. There's almost no difference. There's almost no difference on how they live their lives. And when you go to church, you hear about the transforming powers and all that, but they can't seem to get it out of the church doors. And as I've always said, humans will always be humans, but through group kind of encouragement and in therapies, there are behavior modifications that happen, definitely. So I don't know, friends, let me know what you think, and if I go to church again, I'll come on and do another video. Until then, be well, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.